watching the forum. We are here today talking about green, and we're here with Andy Keller. He is the president and inventor of Chico Bags, and you may have heard of him or seen his bags in stores. And today we are so privileged to talk to you today. So, thank you.
Yay, Andy!
Yeah.
So Chico Bags, are you wondering what are Chico Bags? And you probably, if you don't know by just hearing it, you probably would recognize it because, as you can see, it's a very handy little bag that you can take with you. It's got, and it's stuffable, but it's also big. Let me show you while the camera's on here. You take it out of the little pouch, and voila, look at this. You guys talk about easy peasy. You keep it in your purse, you can, or your bag, or clip it on your belt, and voila.
QVC.
So,
I know.
See, right here. This is QVC. Right
okay, so Andy, enough from me showing. Tell us about it. How did you get this started? What's the story? And this is from Chico, so right here in Northern California.
Yeah, well, I started 10 years ago. So 2015 is our 10th year.
Okay.
Wow.
And I was unemployed. I lost my job, and I didn't really know what I was going to do. And I ended up with a bunch of trash, and so I loaded up my truck and I drove it to the landfill. And it was at the landfill that I saw what grew out in Chico in one day, and it was super disturbing to me. Stuff I could use, stuff that was recyclable, stuff that was like I wanted to take home with me.
Now, had you pretty mental, like, I mean, have you always kind of been thinking green and you live that way? Have you always been that way? Or
Well, you know, I recycled, and I always tried to leave a place better than I found it.
Right.
But I wasn't, you know, super activist.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
And visually at the landfill, what I saw were all the plastic bags.
Yeah.
And at that point in my life,
Like
I never,
this.
I never thought about how many plastic bags I used, where they went when I was done with them, even how long I used them for, what they were made out of, or what kind of, you know, afterlife they had when I was done with them.
And what is the afterlife?
You know, you think about a plastic bag. Well, first thing, plastic never goes away. Every piece of plastic we ever created is still on the earth today.
Wow.
And unless it's been incinerated or recycled, you know, so using plastic to make items that are meant for single use, I think there's just something not
Wrong
quite
about
right.
that. Yeah.
Maybe,
Right. Inherently, there's something wrong with this idea.
Absolutely.
You know, so if you use something for moments and it lasts forever, you know, let's rethink that.
Right.
You know, so I said, you know, I want to start using reusable bags. And at that time, reusable bags were canvas, they're kind of bulky. And I thought, I need a bag that I can't forget. I can't forget at home or in the car. And then the kind of the idea came to me. I'm like, wait a minute. Like if I had a bag in my pocket, I wouldn't have to remember. And then all these experiences in my life came together. I'm like, oh my God, I worked at a fabric store. You know,
Did you?
I used to like work the neighborhood mowing lawns, so I know how to sell. You know? You know, I had all
Were
these.
you an engineer? What was your background?
No, I sold software.
Oh,
And I worked in a fabric store. And when I was little, I played on my mom's sewing machine. I made Santa hats from my stuffed animals.
Wow. He's like a Renaissance man. Wow. He can do everything.
so what'd you do? You went home and...
Yeah, so I bought a sewing machine. I got some fabric that day, and I sat down at my kitchen table and I just started sewing.
What did your wife think? I'm just wondering.
Well, I wasn't married then.
Oh, okay.
So you had no immediate feedback. That's good. No one just say this is a stupid idea.
No, not stupid. Just like, I would be surprised if my husband came home with a sewing machine and just started sewing something. I'd be like, what are you doing?
Well, I was unemployed, right?
Yes, no,
So,
and I'm glad you were doing something.
yeah, I was trying to keep myself busy.
Yes.
You know, and I thought, well, hey, if I could solve this problem for myself, also solve the unemployment problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So, you know, I made a number of prototypes, and I gave them to friends to test them out. And they gave me feedback, and after a couple different revisions of it, I came up with the original, which is this bag here.
Wow.
And so,
I've seen this, yeah.
Yeah, you know, so it's modeled right after the standard shopping bag you get at the grocery store, the single-use bag. The difference is it's 100% reusable, it's washable, it has this little pouch, and when you're done, you just stuff it right into itself.
Did you see how he did that? You just literally tuck it right into it. Creates its own little pouch, and you tuck it right into it. That
and
is
this
so
to me
clever.
is the best part. You can put this in your purse and hook it in. So to me, that would help me a lot because if I just threw this bag in my purse, I would forget that I had it. But you know, if you clip it on, like you clip on your keys or wherever, you know, you can clip it onto your handle when you're leaving, so you remember. So I think it's amazing.
So how on earth do you go from sewing at your kitchen table to a let's visualize billion-dollar industry business with international accounts, which is true already. So how did that happen?
Step by step.
So it wasn't overnight.
No, I didn't know how to do this, but I made a prototype, and then I found a manufacturing partner to help me sew because I wasn't going to sew all these bags.
Right.
So and every step of the way I learned something. And as the bags were being sewn, I started calling. I Googled like natural grocery in whatever town. Well, first I went to the local grocery stores in town, in Chico, and I asked them, would you like to carry this? So I got a couple customers.
And how was the reception to that? Were people open to it?
The first response was, we already have a bag. And in that time, it was just kind of like, check, we got a reusable bag.
Yeah, right.
Especially for natural grocery stores. But I was telling them, hey, let's have a variety of bags because there's a lot of different types of people.
Absolutely.
And not everybody likes to use the same kind of bag.
Yeah.
So you should have a variety of bags. And a lot of people forget their bags at home, so this is a solution you need to have.
And I'm going to take you from this for just a second because you did talk about a variety of bags, and you do have different bags, there's different sizes and all that, but also he has a bag that's a little bit more structured for people that like paper bags, which I just bought this bag because I think it's so amazing. And it's got pockets inside and everything so that you can carry smaller things, and I just think it's so nice. And this folds up as well.
Oh yeah.
Into a really small bag, but it's a little bit more structured. I'm not sure how you did that. Is that from the piping?
Yeah, it's got piping in the side to give it a little bit more form. You can pack it like a paper bag. It's got pockets on the side to put bottles in. And it all packs into a pouch that doubles as the inside pocket for your
bag.
Yeah, so this all pouches as well. So the nice thing is you can stow that in your suitcase when you're traveling. You can put it in your car. Anytime you need a bag, it's
kind of an all-purpose bag too for anything.
Ashley, show them what else, because this is another thing that's evolved. I imagine as you've grown, right, you've evolved into different products. So this is so neat.
And these are the snack bags, and I just bought these two. And this.
Yeah, she's hooked on to everything. I'm totally out of it. Aced out by Ashley.
Got sold out.
I'm an easy sell. But anyway, you can put your stuff inside, and I thought that was the coolest thing. So
you're sick of using those plastic. When you say that, every single thing of plastic that's ever been created is still on Earth. And I think about the Ziploc bags that we use, when we were little, our mothers would wash out those Ziploc bags. Some of you watching probably still do this. You wash out the Ziplocs, right, and then hang them to dry and reuse them. But I think about the sandwich bags that go to school every day with our kids. You start thinking, wow, are you kidding me? If I could use something that I could just wash in my washing machine, by the way.
Yeah, I like that in the washing machine.
All of it is washable in your washing machine. And it's so much better for the environment and also modeling for our children, and it's just a great product. Show us this.
Yeah, so as far as Ziploc bags, a lot of people use the quart-size Ziploc bags for air travel.
Yes.
So instead of using those, we came out with a bag called Travel Zip, which
I love.
will work in the TSA check line.
Yes.
It will.
Put all your 3-ounce bottles in here.
And your makeup, ladies.
Yep.
That's my thing.
And then there's 2 extra bags.
I wish I had that.
Yeah. So you can keep
traveling.
Website.
So you can keep your cords organized and all your things, essentials. You could transfer from purse to purse, from bag to bag.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking for your purse, just to have in your purse.
Yeah.
I love this. I mean,
and it feels really great, and it's lightweight. If you don't want things, that's the other thing I really love about your bags is they're really lightweight.
Yeah.
So you could have like if you're like I do, I keep all my bags stuffed in bags in the car, and this is so lightweight. You could have 5 or 6 bags in there, and it would be no big deal.
Yeah.
So, okay, we only have 3 minutes left.
Oh, no.
I know. So tell us what you want to tell us.
Well, they all are warrantied.
Okay.
And at the end of their life, we have a take-back program. So we don't want any of these bags to end up in the landfill. And they last for years and years and years. Machine washable. And then at the end of their life, we take them back. And then if they're still serviceable, we give them to food banks to hand out food to the homeless.
That is so great.
Or if they're not, then we work with nonprofits to turn them into new products. We've turned them into rugs and little coasters and things like that.
Now, I just want to add one more thing because I know you had your things to say, but I do. Yeah.
I got one more thing.
Okay, tell me what.
Yeah. So we got 3 parts to our business.
Yes, thank you.
We sell.
That's where I was going.
Yeah, we sell these products in retail stores all across the country.
Yes.
But a big part of our business is doing school fundraising. So a lot of kids are being told, go sell some candy, something that doesn't necessarily support their education. So we've helped schools do educational, healthy fundraising with Chico Bags.
Yes, I love
Perfect.
it.
And do they private label, or how are they labeled for the fundraisers?
They typically sell our normal product
Okay.
because they're selling it to friends and family. But a big part of our business is doing custom bags, and some schools do custom bags as well. And that's for their VIP donors. And actually, public radio, public television uses our bags as donor gifts.
So when you support your local public
That's
television
right.
station,
Yeah.
you'll get a Chico bag.
Yeah,
sometimes.
in a lot of places, yes.
And tell us the other 2 parts.
Yeah, so we do the retail sales, we do the fundraising, and then we do custom bags. So instead of giving away, a lot of people give away promotional items, and a lot of times these items end up in the trash.
Right.
Yes, that's
right.
Very short
Most
order.
of the time.
Or in the kids' room, and they're not really doing the job that they were meant to do.
Right.
When you have a long-lasting quality product with your brand on it, that's going to last for years.
Right.
The ROI on it's terrific.
Absolutely. I was going to say your advertising is great.
Yeah, I mean, it will, and it creates conversations too.
Yeah, it does.
Because it's a unique design, and because people are using it and they're going green, and there's so much that goes with it. It creates a conversation about the brand, and that's over 50% of our business right now.
So I think this is such an awesome story, considering this is from Chico, California.
Yep.
It's a classic example of seeing a need and then creating the product to fit the need. And that's what we all should be doing that to add value. Thank you so much, Andy, for coming on. We could have talked to him for, my goodness, another hour, but we're going to wrapping it up now. But thank you so much.
Yeah.
Chico Bags, online, in stores, support your local business. We'll be back in a minute with our next segment.
Hi, we're back, and we are speaking with James Theimer today, and he is the president, owner, and architect of Trilogy Architecture. And you may have seen some of his buildings around town, and he really focuses on green, being green. So kind of goes with the theme for today.
Yep.
So James, thank you so much for coming on. It's so nice to meet you. You're
Yeah.
such a great little personality and stuff. So tell us a little bit about what we could have seen around town that you've done before.
Well, probably most people think about Reading School of the Arts, the charter school that we recently completed. We've done the Cascade Theater. Most people would be surprised to know that we actually designed the Arboretum, which is a garden, which is odd for an architect to do.
Yes, but it's beautiful, just like RSA and Cascade.
So those are a couple of the projects that we've
Yeah.
worked
He's
on.
very modest.
He
but
is.
You must know he is like world renowned in the field of environmental or green design. And there's a thing called the LEED certification exam, and it's an environmental certification that's worldwide. And James designed with Reading School of the Arts. It became the first or second school in the state.
Actually, it was the first school in the world to be certified for LEED.
Wow.
For LEED Platinum.
LEED
yes.
Platinum, which of course is the top of the top. And what that means is it's making an incredibly tiny mark footprint. It's environmental footprint. What's the technical term?
Carbon footprint.
Carbon footprint is very small. And my kids are there at Reading School of the Arts, and we love it because not only is the school amazing, the teachers and so forth, but the building reinforces the whole lesson of being good stewards of this earth.
Exactly, and that's what I think is the biggest thing, is you're
the takeaway.
teaching the children that.
Right.
Yeah.
So James is really well known in this field. Yeah. So how did you move from basic architecture, if you will, into environmental architecture? Is that a term? Did we just create it?
No, no, that's true. But into it, I think that I grew up in the '70s, and so I was telling my mother how to recycle bottles. 13 years old.
In New Jersey?
In New Jersey.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
And she still tells me that I told her that.
Oh.
So it was a lesson learned.
Yeah.
ever since I've been in architecture, it's always been important to me to deal with environmental issues on a very basic level, as well as it just wasn't always the thing that was accepted by the people that were our clients.
Right.
So how do you, now you're in Reading. We're just bringing it back to where we are. We're in Reading. So how are people's reactions to your architecture here? Because not that Reading isn't open to environmental, but how is the response?
Well, it's changed. In the early 90s, we would talk about it with prospective clients, and they would say, well, it sounds like a great idea, but it sounds like it would cost a lot of money. And so we said, no, we're talking about putting an overhang on a roof so the sun doesn't go through your windows. It's good design, not expensive design. Well, we did it. We like to say laughingly, really, that we were green before it was cool.
Exactly.
But
Well,
then
you were.
suddenly, in probably the last 7 years, our clients started coming to us and saying, some of them the same clients we'd had, do you know anything about green architecture? And I'd say, as a matter of fact, yeah, I can help you. So it's actually become something that's become a bigger deal. Still in this area, it's still something you have to sell.
Absolutely.
And we like to think of ourselves as nags.
Oh, really?
We are the only architect I know of in this area that is part of the 2030 commitment that the American Institute of Architects does. And that says our job is to make sure every project we do is environmentally sensitive. And what that means is every time someone comes to us, even if it's for a car dealership, we nag them.
Right,
You want to be green? And they go, well, I don't know if I want to be green. Yes, you do. So we push really hard.
Sure, and you say this is how you can do it, and it'll still look great, it'll still function really well,
Exactly.
and it's within your budget.
Exactly.
So now, most of us would love to come to you and have you design a brand new home.
Yes.
But many of us can't.
I've heard that
And
before.
Once or
Or we
twice.
don't think we
So
can.
what are things we could do in our daily life that would generate,
Often
green?
people do come, especially it usually comes to what can I do in my home?
Yeah, exactly.
And usually what we say, even when we're starting from scratch, we say, they say, can we put solar panels and electrically operating windows? And we say, what you can do is good insulation. And they get kind of like, well, that's not very exciting.
I know, yeah, it's not.
sexy
It's
at all.
not, yeah.
But that's where you start.
Okay.
Good insulation, roof overhangs. Here's a stunner: windows that open. We went through a whole period in American architecture in the 60s where, the single worst invention of the 20th century has been said from an environmental standpoint to be air conditioning. Because it meant we didn't have to worry about our environment anymore. But I have air conditioning.
We all have air conditioning.
It's just
I'd be
really
very
efficient.
surprised.
It's just really efficient.
And the idea is to open your windows and let the cool air in the morning and the evenings. And it's funny because our house was built in '53, and it's all glass. It's a very modern, but most of them are fixed glass.
Yes.
And my daughter and son's rooms, their windows they're
open.
fixed glass. I mean, that's on our list this year, is to get an opening window in there, because I like to live with my windows open.
A lot of people do.
But the interesting thing, and we'll be a little off topic, but the first thing I thought of is I would never sleep with my windows open, just because,
Safety.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it seems like it could have a safety issue. But I liked what you said about in the morning.
Morning and evening,
open
let
your
it
windows.
cool it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep it cool in the day, right?
So it's a stunning thing. Good insulation and energy efficient windows.
Yes.
That's where you start.
Okay,
That's a good
wow.
starting spot. So what do you have coming up? I mean, you have all these exciting projects all over the globe. What can you tell us about?
Well, what we're really excited about, but it's also a little disappointing at the same time, is that we talked about Reading School of the Arts being, it was the first LEED certified school in the North State. We did the first LEED certified medical facility in the North State. We are currently finishing our first and starting construction on our second LEED certified homes in the North State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what that tells me is that there's still a lot of
Long way
work
to
to
go,
happen.
yeah.
Tell us about like a private home to become LEED certified. Is it an upcharge? Is there a surcharge? What's...
So not to get too technical, but there's a new code called the California Green Code.
Oh, wow.
So we're one of the greenest states, maybe the greenest state in the nation, and we have a code. So what most people don't know is that if you just meet the building code to build your new building, you're already probably 3/4 of the way to being certified.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, and the other thing is we tell people if you're efficient with your energy, your payback now is you're going to save money over the long term.
Right.
It's good economic sense.
So what are the difference? What would be one of the main differences you're creating that's LEED certified and a regular home now? Since we're that close, where's the difference?
Probably
there?
a little bit more efficient in the heating and cooling.
And is that
and you
from the
have to have-
insulation or is that from
No,
solar
it can be
panels?
from the efficiency of the mechanical units, the heating and cooling units, the air
Oh,
conditioning,
okay.
the
Yeah,
heating. That's one
okay.
of the big ones. A little bit higher quality window, things like
Yeah.
that. It's not stunning, but there's another part to this whole environmental
Yeah.
thing. I say it all the time till people who know me get really tired of hearing it. But one of my favorite quotes comes from a gentleman, Van Jones, who is an environmental activist. And he said, I hope, and I feel this way, that someday we're not talking about green. I don't even like the term.
Yeah.
I hope that we someday just talk about architecture that's normal, and then those toxic buildings we used to do in the late 20th century. See, why are we talking about green now? I mean, that's like it's special.
Right.
It shouldn't be special.
Well, I kind of feel like you've taken the lead on that with downtown. That's kind of one of your passions.
It is.
So can you tell us a little bit about your vision for downtown or how you would like to see it, some of the things you've done already?
Well, downtown is a passion. I think we can be, as far as green is concerned, we should be a green downtown, and that doesn't mean parks, although
Right.
parks would be great.
Parks would be
I
nice.
think we need to be, we have a great opportunity. Think about it. Environmental means walking instead of riding in a car, right? It means things being close together so that you're not using so much energy. So downtowns are designed to be green, but
That's true.
the emphasis has not been there, and now we have an opportunity, I think, for the first time, since we're feeling a little bit of a more positive economically, in our right now, it's
Yeah.
starting to come out of that
Yeah.
dark ages. Now we have a chance to make that happen. So everything we do, I mean, we've done Library Park, and we took the roof off the mall. Yay!
Yay.
Okay,
Yeah.
which people
Yay.
were not all happy about.
Do you remember that in 2000 when we sat in that meeting in the
That's true, that's
Cascade?
absolutely right,
We were
yes.
talking about how do we get the roof off the mall?
And they said we
now
couldn't
it
do it,
happened.
yeah.
and
So-
now it happened.
So it's kind of strange to be proud of the thing you demolished. That's the way it is.
But now it's a nice walking area.
Yeah,
if you
it
come
is,
down
and it's
there. And we
open.
need businesses down there. So
I've never seen
to
it
support
closed. I wasn't here during that time, so I can't even
okay.
imagine a
You
roof
didn't
over
miss.
it
It's
now.
Yeah,
okay.
you missed a 70s mall.
But it can get. But we have tremendous opportunity to
Yeah.
improve, right?
Yep. The whole field of architecture is just changing. Say to somebody who's interested in the field of architecture.
Well, we actually do mentoring for students in high school because I always felt I wished that I had known some of the things I know now. So I would say to anyone who's interested in architecture, don't do often what people think you should do, which means don't worry about whether you can draw or not.
Right.
Make sure and don't worry if you're even that great in math. That's what calculators and computers are for, although there are a lot of math teachers that will hate me for saying that. Be good in English. English teachers love me because English,
Really?
yes, if you can create a great design but you can't speak about it, you will never be able to
Right,
do
if you can't
well design.
articulate your
So
thoughts.
I say English is the most important subject.
I love that.
Yeah, and I agree with that for a lot of things,
I
actually.
think it's true for a lot of
Yeah,
things.
your writing and your speaking ability. Nowadays, Christy, I mean, this is
Yeah.
her expertise.
Yeah.
But on the
Public speaker.
internet now,
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of where things are going. If you can't write your thoughts and you can't speak your thoughts, you really can't get your message across.
No.
To the, to the world.
Architecture, as my wife likes to say, architecture is the best hobby you could possibly have.
But you've
It's
made
a-
it a business.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
a lot
you've
of,
made
but
a
it,
successful
You've
but
made
I'm
it a very
still passionate
successful
about
business.
it now.
You can tell you're passionate, and you can tell that's been to benefit of all of us.
Yeah.
Right? We're so thankful. So thanks, James,
You're
for
welcome.
coming on.
You're
I've
welcome.
wanted to have you on since we started. So thanks for watching. What a great show. Be sure to check out the website for all the details, and we'll see you next time on The Forum.